Now, one person we did hear from today for the first time, Karen Reed herself, doubling down, of course, saying she did not do this. She wants to know who did.
Said it feels we're the only ones fighting for the truth of what happened to John O'Keefe. And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Karen, just to be clear, you didn't do it.
We know who did it, Steve. We know. And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
Yes, we do.
And no, she didn't do it. No, she didn't do it. This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
I tried to save his life.
Yeah.
I tried to save his life at 6 in the morning. I was covered in the only one trying to save his life.
Why'd you admit to it?
She didn't admit to it. She didn't admit to anything close to that. Nothing close to that. And you should know that.
That was like 3 or 4 times she admitted to it.
No, she didn't.
That's not true.
She asked a question. She asked a question, which is very different. She didn't admit to anything.
You are listening to the Roberta Glass True Crime Report, putting the true back in true crime. From New York City, Roberta Glass is now on the record. Okay, here we go. How is everybody? Hello, Debbie. Hello, Kat. Hello, Tanja. Nice to see everyone. I want to start off by thanking my wonderful moderator, Maestro, for holding down the comment section. Really appreciate it. Does a wonderful job, and thank you for doing it. So I wanted to talk today about, well, first things first. I wanted to talk about the one piece of evidence we haven't seen that could finally put to rest the idea that this house long to die in the cold search took place at 227. Now, if you listened, we all thought on this side of the fence that this was pretty much taken care of, right? When Ian Whiffen et al. Testified at trial, that in fact, that this wasn't a deleted search, that nothing was deleted from Jennifer McCabe's phone, and that the search was done at 6:23 and 6:24 a.m. End of story. We thought that just like, I remember that all put it to bed. I remember the memes on X, RIP 227, house long to die in the cold search. It's over. End of story. Jessica Hyde and Ian Whiffen have officially put it to bed. But unfortunately for us, there are many Free Karen readers who are holding on to it like it's their snuggly blanket and will not drop it because they really believe that criminal defendant Richard Green, criminal defense expert Richard Green, they had to rewrite the whole program because he was wrong. Selbright did, but never mind that. He's really right. Even though Selbright went through all the trouble of rewriting it, somehow he was really right, and they shouldn't have taken the trouble. So there is one piece of evidence that has nothing to do with forensically looking at the phone that we haven't seen that would put this issue to rest. Why haven't we seen this piece of evidence? I'm going to talk about that today in a minute. But first, Fox News Nation has a new Karen Reed, what are we going to call it? Flick out. I don't really want to call it a documentary. It's, first of all, there's 2 episodes out. One is called The Brewing Storm. Okay. All right. Catchy. I get it. Clickbaity. I get it. No issue there. But the second episode is called Conflicting Truths. And that basically sums up everything wrong with this piece of media, narrated by Jeanine Pirro, to give it some kind of social, some kind of gravitas. Like, oh, look, we have a former prosecutor out here narrating this piece. It must be really accurate. It's not. It's not accurate. And first of all, there is no such thing as conflicting truths. Okay? There's no such thing. There's the truth. There's conflicting stories. But there's no such thing as conflicting truths. And you wouldn't know it if you watch this piece on Karen Reed. Because Karen Reed's defense, innocence, fraud, fantasy ideas are given as much weight as the Commonwealth's heavy evidence, really substantial evidence. So they say things like, well, isn't it weird? That's weird, right? Ted Daniels also is sweeping for Karen Reed in this. That's weird that Jen McCabe deleted the search. But they never tell you it was never deleted. They never give you any background to that. But that's weird, right? He says, Ted Daniels. Remember Ted Daniels of the pink tie? Ted Daniels? He's basically a free Karen Reader cosplaying as a reporter. The problem is it was never deleted. And there's more things that are never pushed back on, that apparently John Silvera, Karen Reed's 30-year-long friend, that's how he's introduced in this, says that it was Paul O'Keefe who said that it looked like that he'd done 5 rounds with Mike Tyson. I believe that came from the Free Karen Reed camp. All this stuff with no pushback and no attention to detail. They could have done so much better. All explained, if anyone involved in this thing had actually watched the trial, they could have answered their own questions and really provided the viewer with a little bit more of a idea as to what is defense talking points and what is supported by real evidence. And they present this Marie Russell like she's a qualified expert. Had they shown a little bit more of her, you would have gotten a sense of what a joke she is. Basically a true crime fan, retired doctor, cosplaying again as a defense witness. Oh, expert witness. So I believe there's going to be more episodes. It's infuriating, but the Free Karen readers already hate it. Aidan Carney has come out, even though he's called I think he's called the head or the driving force behind Free Karen Reed. The driving force behind Free Karen Reed is Karen Reed herself. I mean, there's a million things that could have been fact-checked on this thing and weren't. And they already hate it. Aidan Carney hates it. Because what it makes me think of, if he really hates this piece that bends over backwards so far to try to be fair and balanced. Remember Fox News's old tagline, fair and balanced? It is that if someone heard both sides, they think, no way, she did it. Like, Karen Reed cannot be the unluckiest woman in America. Like, oh, she just happened to damage her taillight some other way that left no evidence in John O'Keefe's driveway. And somehow she's so unlucky that every police officer, CERT team, etc., wants to frame her in ways that are impossible to do. And isn't it unlucky that there's no evidence of a conspiracy ever? Wow, she's really unlucky. Somehow she knew John O'Keefe was dead. Wow, unlucky again. Karen Reed must be the unluckiest woman in America. All right, let's get into it. So that's my little small review of the Karen Reed flick on Fox Nation. You can watch it with a trial subscription. So let's get into... This is from Innocence Fraud Watch's blog. So this is a piece of evidence. Again, if you watched my episode on Sergeant Good's cruiser, on the system that was in there, the WatchGuard system, which records and even records things that you might not need, you can go back and get them. If you think they haven't been recorded, you can play it again if you guys missed it. But I don't think you want to sit through a whole 10-minute video about the WatchGuard system again. But it is, they should have this video of Karen Reed and Jen McCabe in the back when Karen Reed told her, please Google how, I don't think she said please, Google how long to die in the cold from hypothermia. But here we go. Killer Karen Reed retrial updated. Will second jury get to see and hear video and audio recording from Sergeant Good's Canton police cruiser number 682, some of it which appeared in a TV show after trial ended. The first jury in the murder trial of Karen Reed did not get to see or hear any video footage or audio recording from Canton Police Sergeant Good's police cruiser number 682 from the morning of January 29, 2022. But a few months after the trial ended, following a hung jury, a TV show called The Night of the Nor'easter aired recordings of dash cam video footage from Sergeant Good's cruiser. In the back of, included in this dash cam video footage, not shown to the first jury, were recordings from around the time just after Karen Reed had asked witness Jennifer McCabe to Google how long it takes to die in the cold. Witness Jennifer McCabe's testimony on this was, we can listen to it if you want. We were in the back of the police cruiser. Actually, let's listen to it, shall we? This has very annoying ads that we're going to have to sit through. I'm warning.
Hey, so I just got back from this holiday trip. I swear, true story. I got really sick the second to last day of the trip. So we got a new...
7
and then there's going to be
seconds.
another one.
That is all it takes to make a first impression. And what's going to make it?
Okay, here
we
go.
were in the back of the police cruiser. Karen was sitting in there. I kind of scooched myself in. Miss Roberts came over. Karen grabbed our hands. She asked us to pray. She looked at her hands and she had blood. She asked us if she could have gotten her period. We told her no, that was John's blood. Then she said, what if he's dead? Promise me you'll take care of the kids. Someone's going to take care of the kids. Then we prayed. Then at the end, they were moving John. And at that point, Karen told Carrie, go over, look, is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? Over and over. And Carrie said, I'll go over and check on him. And she was yelling, are they working on him? And then at that point, she grabbed my hands and she said, Google hypothermia, Google how long it takes to die in the cold. And so I had my phone out and it was cold and my hands were frozen and I have MS, and I took my phone out while she was screaming and shaking my arm, and I attempted to Google how long does it take to die in the cold.
Okay, so right before that, that is her testimony. So at 6:15:57, the image below was captured on Sergeant Good's WatchGuard in-car video system as he arrived on scene in Canton Police Cruiser 682. The above image shows Sergeant Seraf's police cruiser at 683 in the foreground, with Kerry Roberts' vehicle parked in front. Kerry Roberts can be seen in the image wearing a coat with fur around the hood, about to begin to clear snow off the back of her car. And visible in the image are Jennifer McCabe, firefighter and paramedic, Katie McLaughlin, wearing the high-vis jacket, Karen Reed, and Sergeant Seraf. What is a high-vis jacket? Is that, oh, okay. So that's like high visibility things. I get it. 6:16 a.m., Kerry Roberts began cleaning snow off her car with the brush she had taken out of the trunk. Firefighter and paramedic Katie McLaughlin had observed John O'Keefe to have trauma of the face and eye area and vomit in his mouth. She asked Karen Reed how John could have suffered the injuries. Listen to Katie McLaughlin here. Karen Reed confessed and stated, I hit him at 6:18. Sergeant Good walked Karen Reed over to the back of his police cruiser for her to warm up. 6:23:51 a.m. On Karen Reed's instructions, Jen McCabe had attempted to Google how long to die in the cold, and due to varying factors, i.e. shock, cold, MS, and Karen Reed screaming, Jennifer ended up searching how long to die in the cold. Well, with none of those factors, I frequently misspell my searches. I don't know. How about you? 6:24:18 a.m., just over 30 seconds later, Jennifer McCabe again attempted to carry out a search on her iPhone, and this time typed, how long T die in the cold. I don't even know how to pronounce that. CIKD. 6:25 a.m., Detective Michael Lank said he arrived on scene at around 6:24 and 6:25 and first spoke to Sergeant Good. Dashcam video footage. Detective Lank's arrival was never shown to the first jury. The ambulance carrying John O'Keefe left the scene and headed back to the Good Samaritan Medical Center in Brockton around 6:27 approximately, and 6:28 and 50 seconds. The image below is again from Sergeant Good's WatchGuard in-car video system, aired during the TV show after Karen Reed's first trial for the murder of John O'Keefe, and shows Sergeant Seraf's police cruiser 683 with diagonal arrows pointed down towards it. The second arrow is pointed to Kerry Roberts' vehicle. So at 6:28:54, the following image from Sergeant Good's WatchGuard system appears to show Kerry Roberts with fur hood walking behind Officer Seraf's cruiser, although this could have been a police officer. 6:30. During a pretrial hearing, Alan Jackson told the court that Sergeant Good was overheard on a police cruiser audio recording at around 6:30, stating of Karen Reed that he was going to section her. Alan Jackson told the court at approximately 6:30 on a dash cam video, an officer, Officer Good, as a matter of fact, a Canton police officer, states to Detective Lank that he was going to quote-unquote section her. This alleged audio was never played to the first jury. Detective Lank's vehicle did not have a WatchGuard in video system. Therefore, this alleged audio recording could have only been captured on Sergeant Good's police cruiser watchguard system or Sergeant Sharif's. So why didn't, and this is a question that Innocence Fraud asked, you can read their blog, did Kevin Reddington, former lawyer for Jennifer McCabe, obtain the audio recording from Canton Police Cruiser 682 for his client? If not, why not? Great question. So this is Kevin Reddington, Jennifer McCabe's lawyer, the same lawyer that was telling Writing Turtle Boy, Aidan Carney, and the blogger, and saying, you're doing such a great job, and I wish you were working for me, meaning you're doing a great job harassing my client, Jennifer McCabe. Keep on it, buddy. Great job. Why hasn't he been reported to the bar? Where does that fall in line with the ethics of lawyers and the rules of their profession? Seems out of bounds, but shocked that he hasn't been reported. Karen Reed's video. Karen Reed called her father William Reed's phone at around 6:48 a.m. A Cellbrite extraction report suggests this video call only lasted 1 second, but without seeing William Reed's Verizon call records, it cannot be known if this video call ever connected with William Reed's phone. At 6:31:46, William Reed sent his daughter a message reading, I'm up, just heard the phone. Sounds like it might have connected. No? This was 58 seconds after Karen Reed's 1 second, 6:48 a.m. time stamped video call. At 6:31:54 a.m., Karen Reed sent her father, William Reed, a message reading, John is dead. At 6:32:15 a.m., Karen Reed video called her father, William Reed. A Cellbrite extraction report suggests this video lasted 3 minutes and 51 seconds. During a November 2024 motions hearing, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan indicated that Karen Reed was still sat inside the back of Sergeant Good's police cruiser 682 when she first video called her father at around 6:32 a.m. Where's the dash cam footage of that? Why haven't we seen any of this? At 6:34, Karen received a text message from Catherine Camerano reading, any luck? Karen replied, he's dead. 6:34:15, between 6:34:15 and 6:34:42, Karen Reed was still sat alone inside Carrie Roberts' car and was still on the video call to her father, William Reed. At around 6:43:43, Jennifer McCabe was captured on Sergeant Seraf's dash cam walking up the driveway to her sister and brother-in-law's front door, having been instructed by Detective Lang to wake them up. At around the same time, Carrie Roberts was captured, leaning inside her car on the passenger side for around 45 seconds. So, where is all the audio recording from Sergeant Good's police cruiser? That's the question. It's the question for today. Wouldn't this at least show us that she was in the process of Googling something? No? Hey, Heisenberg. I asked a Free Karen Reed supporter if it were Jennifer McCabe on trial with the same evidence. That's a great question. Instead of Karen, is Jennifer guilty? Immediately they said guilty. Of course. Of course. Unsubstantiated evidence. I mean, Karen Reed's got piles. And Jennifer McCabe might have, oh, that's weird, maybe, before it's debunked. I mean, come on. It's outrageous. Getting into your comments. Just a quickie for today, guys. As you can hear, I am still fighting this, whatever it is.
We got you coming. You had something to say. You were insightful. Oh, so clever. So Roberta's going to read your comments. Hey, Roberta, read those comments.
Okay. Anita Holst says, has it been entered into evidence that Karen's car had that backup camera view, and was it in operating condition? Oh, it was. And boy, do I talk a lot about her infotainment system. And it was on. It was. And it was beeping and flashing at her and whining very loudly. I don't have one, so I don't know anything about them. Well, let's look at it together, Anita, shall we? This is the sound it makes. So before we listen to testimony about her infotainment system, let's take a listen to what it sounds like. Just, you might want to turn it down if you're listening on headphones. It's an unpleasant sound. So Karen Reed has said that the wind was howling and she was listening to U2, the band, very loudly to, I believe, tailor her evidence to why she wouldn't hear this. But it gets louder and more persistent the closer you get. It also flashes at you. So that's what it sounds like. But let's take a listen to the testimony from Trooper Paul.
I think Karen acted portrayal what you observed in the vehicle during the time that you were conducting your testing.
Yes.
Trooper Paul, do you recognize what's up on the screen and is now being marked as Exhibit 597?
Yes.
What part of the vehicle are we looking at in this photograph?
That's the steering wheel.
Paul, do you recognize what's now up on the screen?
Yes, I do.
If you could, using the laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what significance you observed in this part of the photograph.
That is the infotainment system.
The infotainment system. When you were operating that vehicle, what was displayed on that screen within the infotainment?
If you were in drive, it just had the radio navigation stuff. But if you're in reverse, that's where the backup cameras and sensors would be.
Paul, do you recognize what's up on the screen?
Yes, I do. That's the push button start, the ignition.
So that's how this vehicle is started and stopped, essentially, as a push button start. Is that correct?
Correct.
On the screen, as
Yes.
you could, using the laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, you observe of significance.
This infotainment system, it's on, shows satellite here. Looks like that's the navigation.
That'll give you an idea of what that looks like, Anita. I mean, there's just no way that she didn't know. So when people, even John O'Keefe's friends like Brendan Kane says in the News Nation that he doesn't think that Karen Reed would risk getting a murder charge because he thinks she did this by accident. There's no way she could do it by accident. It was purposeful, hence the second-degree charge. There was intent. When you have your foot 75% down on the gas pedal, going in reverse with your infotainment system, blaring, beeping, flashing at you, you can't miss it. Anyone who's driven a car is intimately aware with how their car works. Even after 9 drinks, if that's, everyone says, well, she had 9 drinks there. We don't know if she was drinking beforehand. We just know the drinks she had during the time period she was at the waterfall in C.F. McCarthy's. And I would argue that she was a habitual drinker. Seems like she still is. and it doesn't seem to touch the sides with her. The story for me is that John O'Keefe finally said no more. She went to teach him a lesson and clip him in her car, with her SUV, to teach him a lesson. Whether she meant to kill him, she meant to teach him a lesson, hurt him physically badly, and have him suffer in the cold, leaving him there to die. This was a punishing act. And all the calls that she made to John O'Keefe reflect her true feelings toward John O'Keefe. I hate you. And the clipping John O'Keefe with her car was just another way to say, I hate you. You don't leave me. You think you're going to outsmart me? I outsmarted you. Here, take this. And she could not have missed that he didn't wear a coat ever. If you have a boyfriend for 2 years who doesn't wear a coat, how often would you think to yourself, wow, it would be really bad if he got incapacitated or stuck somewhere out in the cold without his coat? Rosie Grace says, my 91-year-old mother doesn't know what's going on with Karen Reed, but tonight she was humming, I hit my boyfriend with my car. I love it. I love it, Rosie. Dougie Morrison says, the judge is allowing witnesses so there's no appellate issues on her rulings that would imply she's being unfair to the defendant's rights. But she's being really unfair to the jury, I'd argue. I think they'd have a hard time appealing on this. She's not barring Karen Reed from having a credible dog bite expert or a credible forensic expert as far as computers. Just these are you can't have someone confuse the jury with debunked science. It's not science. They had to rewrite the whole program for Richard Green for that error. So no one else would make that same kind of error. I think it's confusing. Unfortunately, the prosecution has one shot at it. And when there are bad rulings made, they can't appeal on these kind of grounds. After the trial's over is what I mean. Deb H, thanks for becoming a member. That's what I have for today. Just a quickie. I'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night, everyone. I'm going to go out the way I usually do with my hit single, I Hit My Boyfriend with My Car. See you tomorrow at 6, everyone. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share this episode, support me by sending a donation to the channel via Venmo, buy me a coffee, or you can support me on Patreon. All are listed in the episode description. Thank you again, Maestro, for moderating. See you tomorrow at 6.
I hit my boyfriend with my car. It wasn't an accident, but with lying lawyers I'll go far. Lying lawyers and witness harassment, I'll avoid prison. It was snowing. I pushed the pedal down, hit him hard. Now the legal system a clown. Innocence fraud campaign to save my skin. Making money, truth is my second victim. Carry, Jen, like John, you were my mom. My innocence fraud campaign is my biggest hit yet. I hit my boyfriend with my car. drugs and witness harassment. I'll avoid prison. It was snowing. I pushed the pedal down, hit him hard. Now the legal system, my clown. Innocence fraud campaign to save my skin. Making money, truth is my second victim. Carry, Jen, like John, you were my mark. My innocence fraud campaign is my biggest hit yet. John.